Well, hey, everybody. Whoever said I'm late, you know what? Choke yourself. We're just going there. We're going old school Army. Don't say I was late. I hit the button when it counted down to 1. I hit bam, bam, click, click. Jeff reminded me you got to double click because Jeff is like that. He's smart and he's there and he's looking at his phone and he looks all hot and stuff. He's like, "What's up, Jeff?"
Hey, man.
That's all the energy I got. Thanks for coming tonight, you guys. We appreciate you. Year end. All right, I'm going and we're out. Oh, no. I guess that won't work. Look.
All right.
It's been a week, it's been a night, it's been a day, something. Hello, everyone. Bear Hunter, hello. Paul Phillips. You know what? Late. What is this? Oh, look, I'm here too, Jeff. Just in case you're wondering, I'm here. Hello.
I was wondering.
Look at that. Craig Hutchinson, what's shaking, man? Alan Becker's in the house. Who else? Sean Conyers, Life on 18 Wheels. Trucker Dan. Hey, Trucker Dan. What's up, buddy? Oh, man. Andrew Bhagwandine. Whoop, whoop. Got it this time. First try. I'm coming up. Look, I'm learning. You know, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, woof, woof, mofo. I'm saying I learned. I learned it, Jeff. Jeff, I learned it something.
Yeah.
Jeff's got all kinds. Oh, look, there's my baby. I want to test. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the real one. Nobody, look, I better not say that. Oh my God, Alan's in New York. That's terrible. Andrew, what's up, buddy? I don't know. Oh, apparently I have voted to kick Alan out of the group. Alan, you have been removed. Not really. We like Alan. He knows I would never do that. I might say it every now and then just for fun, but oh, Dennis has a question of the day. It says, "Oh, you bastard. You know what? I can't even believe I just clicked on that. Oh my God.
You did.
When do we get paid? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, beer 30 Friday, or Saturday or Sunday?" Oh, Dennis, buddy. You know, you may be the first person I mute on here. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You could be the one that gets it. I'm just going to throw it out there. Hey, my grandson just walked in. What's up, buddy? You want to come say hi real fast? Come here. Come here. Wait. Nobody can see you. What? You got to hop up here like this.
Hi.
There he is.
Say, hey, everybody.
Hi.
There's millions of people out there, Jordan. They want to know what is on your mind, sir. You got any words of wisdom? Nope, he's done. He's out. All right. I love you, buddy. Get the hell out of here now. Oh, man. Hey, there you go. He dropped it on y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He is definitely my favorite Jordan of all. I'm just saying. Even a blind squirrel gets a nut once in a while. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Random thoughts. I'm just saying, throw it out there. Alan said he's heading to El Paso. What's going on, guys? What's everybody doing? Hope y'all had a good holiday week, whether you worked or you didn't. Hey, cheers to y'all. It's from me to you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did that, Jeff. I can't help it. Little Angels Envy. Yep, we're having that. It's going to be one of those nights, y'all. I'm just saying, we're just going to do this and make it happen. Oh, look at that. That's not eggnog. You had eggnog a minute ago. What happened to it? Oh, my gosh.
Eggnog's over here.
Okay.
Eggnog's expensive this year, man. I got some.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
It's like $5 for a half gallon.
So, where'd it go? Bear Hunter. You suck, Charley. Look, it's been a long week. It's been an emotional time. Oh, hey, look, Jeff. How's the remodeling going?
Slowly. It took me 3 full days to get all those cabinets out of the truck. And I still got to scrape some stuff off the bottom and before I could put my floor down. So
isn't that just how life is?
I should have more pictures up tomorrow, though.
Just got to sometimes scrape the stuff off the bottom and get on. Start fresh. Oh, man. Dennis worked all weekend.
Since it did come up, though, and if people are interested in doing this sort of thing, first of all, we have to disclose this. Charlie and I were talking about this the other day.
Yes.
Don't do this unless you have the pink slip for your truck.
Right.
because you turn that thing in, and before you know it, you owe IEL $15,000 for cabinets. Because when I rip those things out, there's no putting them back in. I'm just saying,
right?
because I'm not smart.
There,
So
dude.
I got my Dremel out on a few pieces.
Yes. I was gonna ask how that went.
Well,
There's some magic stuff in there.
Some of the bolts are like behind other things that you have to get off, and some of those things are held on by the seat belts. Which, if you've ever put new seat belts in, that's a whole thing by itself.
Yep.
So, yeah. But I did talk to a guy at Home Depot that helped me out with the insulation issue, because on the newer trucks, that passenger side gets up there, sometimes 100 degrees or more.
Right.
And so what we found out is it takes 2 different thermal barriers to really do the job on that side. So
I'm still super excited to see how this turns out. Even if it's ugly, I'm gonna think it's great, simply because I love the whole custom thing, man. I like doing things for yourself and making things the way you want them to be, and getting to a point like you've gotten with that truck where you can actually do things like this, like in Chewy, man, dude, there's like crazy electrical that runs. I have different fuse boxes. Like I have extra fuse blocks underneath my bunk for different things that I had run electrical for, and cabinet lighting, and all that kind of stuff. And I couldn't do that, and I can't do that now.
Not for 4 years.
Hey, you know what? Let me light this cigar, and then we should probably do that fuel surcharge thing.
Yeah. I'll throw a question out for the watchers here. I'm just curious, because I've heard this from a lot of people. How many of y'all got sick last week?
Oh my God.
I mean, I got sick as a dog, and a couple other drivers I was talking to that were actually out on the road were in their trucks, all 102-degree temperatures, and just trying to wait it out. There's something going around, man.
Right.
Let's do the surcharge.
All right, let's do this damn thing. My bad. I'm like, screw it. I'm gonna have another sip, whatever. Oh, I gotta look, new system. I'm trying to learn new buttons. Bear with me. I'll get this figured out eventually.
Under the influence. Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, we're working on it. Let's do this. Let's see. I gotta click on this button here. I almost clicked on the wrong damn button. That would have been great. And then I coughed. Oh, good Lord. Speaking of getting sick, I got something going on in my chest again. Anyhow, all right. So the natural diesel price went down 0.059 cents a gallon this week to 4.537. The West Coast Pad 5 went down 0.07 cents to 5.068. That's going to bring our fuel surcharge to 0.548. It's only a drop of about a penny this week. The West Coast fuel surcharge stayed at 8 cents. Because the disparity between the Pad 5 and the national average is only 0.531 cents. So there you go, guys. We'll do that. We'll go back to the regular stuff and answer some questions. Hey, and just so you know, our big deal this week is, how did this year go for you? What are things that were good, bad, ugly? Let's talk about that as soon as we come right back. Pow! And here we are. So, how did you guys do this year? What did you learn? What kind of crap went on? And don't forget Jeff's question. Did a bunch of you guys get sick this week? Because there's been a bunch of it going on.
And Dennis, not 102 degrees outside, 102-degree temperature, like in your head, man. I was at 102.1 like all Christmas Day. It was sucked.
Look, high teens, low 20s here in Crystal River, Florida. What the hell is wrong?
Oregon stole my freaking white Christmas this year. They got a buttload of snow. They shut the terminal down for 3 days. Nobody in, nobody out. And I had green lawn in Utah. Stupid Oregon. They took everything from me, those people.
Right.
White Christmas.
Damn it, man. Apparently Jeff was telling me that terminal up there was shut down for like 3 days. They wouldn't let nobody leave. I'd have been out one way or another. I'm telling you right now, there's no way I'd have stayed in that terminal for 3 days. I like the people. I'm not going to be there for 3 days.
Well, the people obviously weren't there if they were shut down.
Right. Look, I didn't. We'd have had to talk. -7 at Robbie Mead's house in Virginia.
Nice.
56 in Jacksonville right now. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out to be a nice day today. I actually got out of the house today, went for a walk, took the oldest grandson for a walk, and then we played soccer out in the yard. And oh my gosh, it was just, dude, the weekend was crazy though. Like my weekend started. Oh, go ahead.
Why the remodeling, Timothy? Because I want to.
Exactly.
No other reason. I own the truck. I could do what I want with it. And I decided I wanted an office. So I'm building an office in my truck. I'm going to sleep on the top bunk. There's, I think Logan was doing one too, wasn't he? Wasn't that the one that was doing one? He posted a picture on my.
Either doing or already did one, yeah.
Yeah, he was posted a picture of him pulling stuff out of his truck. He pulled like both bunks out and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm interested to see what he's going to do with that.
Right.
But yeah, it's one of those things, not to toot the horn too much, but once you own the truck and you're at that level, and without a payment, you're making a little more money. You start thinking about, what do I want to do here? I live in this thing.
Right. I mean, we spend more time in that truck than anywhere else.
Make it into an RV, man. Be comfortable.
Right. With the room that you have, I mean, might as well make the best use of it.
And when it comes time for me to retire and I sell the truck, it'll just go as is. I don't care.
Right.
I might just give it to one of you guys in about a decade. Say, hey, $1,000, here you go. It'll be all set up for you. Nice gaming center, more cabinets than you're used to, all that.
Bear hunters going through Vegas, baby. Yeah. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I got the phone number scrolling across the bottom of the screen, but I never set it up. So give me just a minute, Jeff. I need you to take over for a second while I do some things.
Yeah, it gets loud, guys. So he wants to check out while he does this. So yeah. So the year, man. This year, I'm with most of you guys on this. This year kind of sucked. The fuel price thing I had to go back to the way I did things during the last recession. Really watching the fuel mileage. I did start doing what I tell most of you guys not to do a little bit, and started looking at some of those heavier loads and saying, I don't know, you got anything else? I'd still take them if there wasn't anything else, but I was definitely trying to make money on that surcharge this year, and that worked out pretty well for me. Between switching from Com Data to a better card. And you guys know we'll promote the ES Advantage card because that's the one we use. But if you're still on Com Data, find something other than Com Data to get your fuel, and save some money. Because if you're getting at least 8 miles per gallon, and you're using an alternative way of buying fuel, you're going to make money. You're going to get paid more in fuel surcharge than you spend in fuel. But it takes that combination of both, getting the good fuel price and keeping your truck above that 8 miles per gallon. When Charlie and I sat down and did the math, that was kind of the magic number. I think most of you guys are probably getting 8 or better. If you're not, we need to talk probably one-on-one about that. I realized that some of you guys, I talked to a guy at the Phoenix terminal not too long ago when I was doing my reset out there. I told, well, how fast you driving? 70. Well, that's what that's cost you. He's like, I know. Okay. So, fuel mileage is king right now. He's like, yeah, I'm not slowing down. I'm like, okay. But, as I talked to him, he knew exactly what it cost him. And okay.
Look, as long as people understand what the cost is, hey, look,
yeah,
we don't have to listen to you cry that, I wish I was making more money, but well, you could make more money. You're choosing not to. I mean, or if you're in an operation that pays to do that, then great, man. Hammer down, stomp on the pedal, go, whatever. I don't like driving that fast anymore. I just don't. I get all tense and tightened up, and I'm getting old, man.
Well, one of the things I learned doing the ERF, Charlie, I think you and I talked about this, was I just kind of decided I'm working 10 hours a day, and I'm taking 14 off. And that's what I did for like 2 months, and I felt so much better. Charlie could tell you, because as I'm out on the road longer and longer, I get a little not nice, right?
Right.
But when I was doing that ERF, Charlie, as you notice, I felt better just running it that way. I was doing my 60 miles an hour, 10 hours a day. If I found myself without a load, I start sending messages to the people on my list. I have access to the load board, so I'd look at that. Which, by the way, I don't know, did we cover that, Charlie? That being on the load board may not be the best thing for ERF guys.
Right.
Because a lot of those loads,
I know we touched on it.
Like what I found was I could get a load back into the ERF from the West Coast pretty easily using the load board. But then the loads, there were some that would keep me in region, but come on, man, are you going to say no to an 1,800-mile load of 2,500 pounds of stuff?
Right.
I mean,
it's
no.
hard to do.
So I was talking to Brett and a couple people when I was in Phoenix, and I think I'll probably just go back to the OTR ICOA and just run load board for now.
Right.
Because it just, you got to look at it this way. They seem to be willing to keep me on it, but it feels dirty. You know what I mean, Charlie?
Yeah.
Because I'm not providing the service that they're asking me to do. I'm not staying in that region. Right. And that's one of the things for us, Swift is our customer. Do you want to do them like that? Right. But we'll see. We'll see what the new year brings. I'm going to run it again this next trip out, I decided, and we'll just see what it looks like. But if I can't stay over there, I'll just go back OTR.
Right. So Sam Phillips was talking about Compass is a great card, up to 50 cents per gallon off. That's good. Definitely have that in your back pocket, but I would definitely be checking the ES Advantage card prices.
Yeah, somebody just posted $1 off somewhere in Wyoming.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I-80 East exit 290, Wyoming, over $1 per gallon savings last night. Bear Hunter.
Nice.
See that one? Yeah. Man, it's scrolling by too fast. There we go.
Right.
But yeah, that's what we found though is it's weird, right, Charlie? Yeah. Like when the fuel prices level out, we see those $1.25 up to $1.50. I've seen $1.50 at one time or two. But when they go crazy, like when they go vertical up, vertical down, those discounts disappear. Yeah. And so we start doing things like going back to fuel book.
Right. And it's good to have multiple options. I mean, look, we're not saying this is the only option. Don't get us wrong, guys. We're saying that this is a pretty good tool in our tool bag, though, for sure. Because more times than not, I've seen this be the best price we can find. So let's be real. It is what it is.
And if anybody's going to beat them, it's usually a QT somewhere, from what I've seen. For the fuel stops that I'm willing to take my truck into, we'll say that.
Right. They can't see you, buddy. I'm sorry. Go on, though. I appreciate you. I love you. You're my favorite Jordan. Now scram, kid. Get out of here. Go on. Go see what your grandma's doing. Go tickle her or something. Jeff's over here choking. Yeah. So Robbie Mead, the M771, Jeff, is the pretty sure that's the non-California compliant.
That's the one that guys have been talking about. They were selling for $200 a piece.
Right. I believe that is the right one. And but yeah, so yeah. Losing 2 miles per gallon is rough, Robbie, for real. And with that tire, there's really not much else you can do. I mean, drive 45, that ain't gonna work. Let's be real,
Take up logging as a pursuit.
Right. That might be yeah. So Adam Watson had a question. Anyone or me for dedicated out of the West Valley, make sure you make sure you check your contract. Recruiter put wrong contract on me and I was never informed it was different, better pay packages, cost me a lot. There you go. Look, I've got a weird shadow over here. I don't know what's happening. It's like I'm growing a weird hand out of my shoulder, and yeah, it's kind of interesting.
It's like Total Recall on Mars.
Now he's tapping me. He's like, hey man. All right, buddy, go on. Grandpa's got to do this thing. I dropped my cigar. I almost got him. Whoa, that'll make him run. Anyhow, I love you, buddy. Get the hell out of here, you little beautiful child. You see how I corrected myself there before it happened?
You know what I tell my kids? If I didn't know for a fact who your father was.
Right. I mean, there's a thing. It's so hard for me to deny any of mine. I'm not even going to lie. They just are mine. I'm like, I look at the things that they do and the things they say and the way they do them. I'm like, yeah. There's no denying that. Now their mother, we're not sure who the mother is on both of them. We think that it's Rosie, but it could be. Who knows? I mean, I was there when they pulled Richie out, but not so much when my daughter got pulled out. I was in a completely different country when that happened, so I'm just saying, whatever. Oh God, it's gonna be one of those shows. James Bond said something. I found out with my tires, I was getting screwed with my tire. What? I found out the same tires here in Mexico for about $250 cheaper. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
You weren't getting screwed. I'm just saying. Just a better price shopping point.
Well, he's in a unique position where he can like just go down there and get cheaper stuff.
All right. Look, buy a whole nother set. Add $100 to it. You still save someone $100, and you make $100. I'm just saying, there's an opportunity there.
Yeah.
I don't even know where I was. That's it. That's all I had. So, what kind of giant things did you guys do this year that put a hurting on you, or what things went well this year? Anybody want to step up? I can tell you my medical stuff this year just destroyed me.
Yeah.
Like seriously, I'm still recovering financially just from the medical stuff and all the extra time that I had to take off and all the craziness that came from that and just the mental stress of it all. And it's still not over. I still got more appointments next month, but yeah, things are starting to get better. So I'm trying to focus things around, get turned around, learn from those mistakes. Yeah. Ate up those reserves this year, that's for sure. And that was while the getting was good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And luckily I was in a pretty good spot where I still got a house. I got 2 trucks. I got one that's paid for just in case. Pretty much decided I'm not getting rid of it. I tried to talk my brother into driving it the other day. I'm like, look, man, it's paid for. I could probably put it back on the Swift Fleet. I'll let you run it. You pay for it. You take care of it. Run it till the wheels fall off. I don't care. You know?
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, man. I'm like, okay. What are you going to do? Lead a horse to water, as they say.
Yeah.
Robbie had a hell of a year. That's right. I totally forgot all about that. He had a heart attack in April.
Yeah.
And that was gnarly because he was out for, I mean, look, just the medical part of that alone, and then all the time off. And a heart attack it's not like something that just creeps up. It's one of them, bam, here, have a heart attack.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I'm on a 3,000-mile trip. I'm going to go do 5,000 miles this week. Bam, here's a heart attack. You're like, son of a.
That's the way it goes.
Most of my stuff, honestly, has been, kind of old stuff creeping up, getting worse. And I'm like, oh, crap, I better do something about it. My neck was a whole magical deal all by itself. That was like from one day to the next that it went crazy. But that was the quickest fix of all of them, man. Couple months in and out, we were done. Surgery, the whole 9 yards with the VA. That's pretty damn impressive, if you ask me. So, yeah, Dennis Lewis, breakdowns in a 1 box. Typical maintenance.
I'm just glad he was able to get one.
Right? I mean, there were people.
And as long as, so here's the thing with major maintenance problems as an owner operator, they can be a huge cost, but as long as you can get that truck back on the road and working,
right,
you can get over that hurdle. I did it on my 2012.
Right.
That dang thing cost me so much money, man. But I just repaired it, got it back on the road, repaired it, got it back on the road, and then finally got rid of it.
Yeah, luckily, like Robbie Mead said there, he was home when it happened. So, I mean, could you imagine, dude, like being out in the middle of like Wyoming in December?
I recovered a trailer from a dude that had a heart attack in a Flying J parking lot, man.
That's terrible, man.
Like the cops, the police showed up, checked my ID, and gave me the keys to his truck so I could move him out from under the trailer and go park it somewhere.
Right.
And I grabbed that trailer, and he was in the hospital.
That's crazy.
That was
his mother got sick. His mother got sick, floored him, can't get traction again. Dude, I look, I am for real a straight up mama's boy. Like no doubt at all. Like Yeah, I can't even look. I'm all screwed up just thinking about it. Like I can't even deal with that thought. So stay strong, brother. Do what you got to do. I'm just saying. I can't even process that, like, for real. Oh my God. I seriously,
Yeah.
I can only imagine. And in our career, it's not like we can just, I mean, we can to a degree, but you can't just drop on a dime and go. I mean, if you got a truck payment, it's a lot hanging over you. I mean, when I didn't have a
Mhm.
truck payment, man, I could just drop out for a month and not even really worry about it. Now I got that damn truck payment again, and I'm like, maybe this is not a great idea. But I look at the long term, and that's what I'm looking. I'm looking at the long game here. I figure
Yep.
this is probably my last truck, right? I mean, let's be real. I'm getting kind of old, and as long as many miles I got of the last one, and it's still running. Let's be real. I mean, the only reason I swapped it is because it was beating me up physically in my neck and all that. Just being an old Freightliner. Um, and I got 1.7 on it, and it's still running.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at 68,000 on this new one. I'm set up for a good long time. Let's just be honest about it. You know what I mean? So this will probably be the last truck that I buy, at least for me personally.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll look into another fleet at some point, but for me personally, this is the last truck I'm buying, I believe. So
Right.
Dennis is doing good. He's just got over that 600,000 mile mark. It's
Yeah.
Look, man, really start paying attention and start getting preventative on a lot of things. Get your rear ends drained if you haven't. Get that tranny serviced properly if you haven't. That
At 600,000 miles, he should be on his second transmission service.
Get into that DPF alternatives, get that thing sorted out.
Well, if
If
he's
you
got a
haven't
brand
already.
new, if you got a brand new one box though, Dennis, just start using the
Oh,
max
that's right.
mileage,
Yeah,
and then
seriously.
in a couple 100,000 miles, have DPF alternatives do their thing, and keep using the max mileage, and you got that warranty on that thing. So,
Right. Oh, Bear Hunter is Sean. I didn't even realize that. Look at that.
well, that makes
My
sense.
bad. That makes sense. I hear you, brother. I hear you. Jeff's got that look on his face like somebody walked in. Who is walking in? Who's walking in the house? I'm going to get you. He's ready to attack. He's ready to pounce like a bear. Roar. Watch out because we got a bear hunter. Wait, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Sean's going to come and get me.
All right. So Robbie said he's on his last lease, or he's, God, I can't even talk. His lease ends in August, and he's considering leasing another one. So, Robbie, why not keep
Why not
that
just
one?
buy it?
Is there a reason you don't want to? I mean, hell, you're only at $399.
No, that's barely even.
That's still a new truck.
That's
Come on,
barely
man.
even used. I turned 855,000 when I got home this time. And I don't know if I brought it up at the time, but my last oil sample, Bruce Mallison called me personally to go over it. And he's looking at the oil sample thinking I'll make 1.4 B8 before I need an in-frame on that thing. And now that I run solo, we're talking what, 125 to 150,000 miles a year.
Right.
And there is one issue, and he said it's an issue with all of the new Freightliners that are post 2012, by the way, in that the oil is getting acidic. It's losing its base.
Right.
So he's going to be talking to Rutherford about there's a filter, I guess, that you can replace your main filter at the top of the engine with that actually continuously puts base in the oil as it cycles through to solve that problem so that I can go back to my 150,000 mile oil drains instead of the 80,000 that I'm looking at right now.
Nice.
So, but that's the only thing wrong with my oil at all is that base number. That's it.
Right. Hey, Sean Fairman, the motor in that 1.7 million mile truck is a Series 60. It's the 14 liter. It has the EGR with an ugly fix on it. After my last
it was repaired.
EGR went out. Yeah, I repaired the EGR. I replaced the EGR and put the ugly fix in it, and ran 700,000 miles on it, 800,000 miles on it with the ugly fix, and haven't replaced an EGR valve since. Just saying. Yeah, and it still runs. Look, I'm telling you, it still runs. I look, I love that truck. It is ugly. It is not a pretty truck. It is not a pretty truck by any stretch at all.
It is a tool, though.
It is absolutely a tool, and she is a valuable tool in my tool belt because that truck made me a lot of money. I mean, that's just the reality of it, you know. And the only reason that I'm parking her is because of the medical bills and stuff that I had this year. Even with the VA stuff, I still, you know, a lot of time off and that sort of thing, and had to use up a bunch of that money. You know.
So, Robbie, I'd like to go over some math here with Robbie. What's your payment on a truck if you lease a new truck? What's yours, Charlie?
$670.
$670.
Yep, and the insurance is like freaking $136.
Yeah, I mean that's that. But so that's $34,840 a year in payments on a new truck. What if you just took that $670 and put it in the bank? Do you think maybe you could just maintain the truck?
I would say you could,
including up to and including rebuilding the engine. Or if you don't have any maintenance, what do you do with that money? Well, you save your $40,000 that you need to rebuild the engine and transmission if that happens. But after that, you start giving yourself some really nice bonuses.
Right.
So that's the kind of money we're talking about without a payment. So that's what I want you to look at. Yeah, I know everybody's concerned with warranty this, warranty that, but I tell you what, when I have to go to Freightliner on something I can't do myself, and I walk in and say, how much is this going to cost me? All right, here's my debit card. Guess what? I'm the next guy in line.
Right. I'm going to miss that at some point, I'm sure.
You know, I don't use Swift for anything anymore because there's no warranty issues that I have to. Or, you know, I'm not an MRP where they say you have to use them.
Right.
Even on new trucks, it's best to at least run it by, you know, Juice or something on warranty stuff. There's a process there that I don't have to go through. I just go get the truck fixed. And so far, Charlie, I've been able to just stroke checks for it all.
Yeah. Look, when I had to pay for a transmission, it's $10,000. Bam. Here's my transmission.
Yeah.
And it wasn't terrible. It didn't hurt. I mean, I hate giving anyone $10,000. Don't get me wrong. But I didn't almost go out of business. They're like, hey, you need a new tranny. I'm like, okay, let's do a new tranny. And we had it a week later.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I went ahead of all those people that were sitting there waiting on warranty work. And mind you, there was quite a few Swift trucks sitting there from the Target account sitting there. And they were still sitting there when I got back with a brand new, you know, tranny and the whole 9 yards. And they were waiting on, I don't know, EGR cooler, you know, or something silly like that. But look, let's be real. Warranty gets there. You're not the first priority. Nope. You know, the last time that I had a brand new truck and I had warranty work, I do the air quotes, right? I paid cash for the work. Why? Because the warranty work was going to take 7 days, according to International at the time. And I got it done at a TA for $975 or something like that. And was out of there in 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know, I ran 6,000 miles that week in the time that my truck was supposed to be down in warranty with my student and I, who was a hard charger. It was back in the full team days and all that, you know. And talk about the money lost on warranty for your free work, right? So look, don't ever be afraid to get out there and do it, man, because I'm just saying, you get all that freedom.
No, here's the good reason to get a new truck. Are you ready, Charlie?
Yes.
You'll want one.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's fair enough. I know guys that they just like to have a brand new truck every 4 years.
Power to you.
And when I talk to them, they're like, yeah, I know. Okay. Yes, there's a running theme there with us, Charlie. Just know what it costs you. And if you're down with that, I got nothing to say other than you could be making more money.
Right.
But, you know, we all have our priorities. I was very much like that when I first started driving truck. Charlie knows that, you know.
Right.
I went from my 2007 T2000, which I should have kept, you know, to the 2012, which was a really bad truck.
That was
that
terrible.
was the first year with SCR, and it was just a lemon, man. And I ended up with the 2016, which I did buy out.
Right.
And Charlie and I have talked about how many trucks I could have bought between 2011 and now if I had just bought that Kenworth and rebuilt the motor.
Right.
Because the rebuild on that motor would have only cost me about 18 grand. Pre-emissions versus emissions. So,
So yeah, Robbie said he's had no issues on the truck so far, knock on wood. So yeah, man, I mean, look, that's all stuff to consider, man. If there's a reason you can't buy it out, then I mean, revisit your business practices, right? Figure out what your priorities are and move on from there. If you have the ability to buy it out and you haven't had any problems, then I mean, hell, if I could go pay this 23 off I'm in right now, tomorrow, I'd pay it off and just be happy. And even though I wouldn't lose a warranty by paying it off, but let's say I paid it off and the warranty was gone tomorrow at 68,000 miles, I'd be all about it 100%. Go, bye, see ya, Wouldn't hurt my feelings, not one bit. Sean was asking about, do you guys like the internationals? So the brand new internationals are supposedly have some fixes and upgrades and updates that are supposed to make them more reliable and all that sort of thing. I don't have any data on it yet.
But it still has the Cummins motor, right?
Right. So, they are, I don't know. I'm hopeful. I mean, I didn't hate my international. I did not like it because the front end on the first year they had the Pro Stars out, they were stupid heavy. Like I was at 12,000 gross bobtail with, full tanks, it seemed like. So I ended up buying the 13 ply tires so I could get away with the heavier weights on the steer axle, you know what I mean? The whole 9 yards, and played that game. And, it's something. Look, they are what they are. I'd like to see some more data come in on the new international. I think that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, we need data. What it is, we Charlie and I talked to the Swift shop guys and the international guys at Fleet Week. And of course, the international guys are selling trucks. But but the shop guys are really optimistic, like enough to where we want data. So
Sue had a truck that caught on fire, and I actually remember her telling me this story. But yeah, she had a truck catch on fire while she was driving. While she was driving, and she's like, "I got to get to a safe place." She's got flames like in the truck. It's like on fire, like inside, outside. There's flames. And she's like, well, I got to get the truck to a safe place, and like kept her wits about her. You know what I mean? Got to a spot. And I mean, look, I'm like, man, that lady's hardcore. I dig it.
Who the hell is John Wayne, man?
Right? Who's that guy? This chick is way tougher than him, if you ask me. I never heard about him driving a loaded semi down the road just so that she could, get to a safe spot. But yeah, so she makes a good point, though. Luckily she had other trucks to cover the cost of lost revenue. Having paid for trucks makes a world of difference. But as she follows up, you must save for unpredictable situations and for repairs. And when you're in a situation where you own the truck, right, and you're not paying out, like I am on this 23, $670 just for the truck payment every week. What could you do with that $670?
Right.
That's a lot of money. And then here's the other thing with the insured value on the truck. It's $100 more a week on this truck than it was on Chewy. It's, in fact,
we were
a little over $100.
As we've been working on this insurance thing, because of the cameras, Charlie and I were looking at our different insurance rates, and it's depressing.
Yeah, it is. So something that Jason Capps brought up to me before we came on the show. He wanted to talk about a couple things, but he wasn't going to be able to make the show. So he hit me on the phone real quick beforehand and said, hey, like the new Samsara and a couple of the other cameras seem to time out and stop recording after about 20 or 30 minutes of the truck being off. So you're parked at a truck stop, camera times out. You're thinking, oh, this is great. I've got my camera running. Captures nothing when that wonderful flatbedder guy or whoever it is backs into your
axle.
hood. Yeah, the spread axle rips off the whole mirror in the right quarter of your truck. And you've got no proof. You have no idea because that wonderful person drove away and picked a spot 3 spots down, pretending like nothing ever happened, or went to the next truck stop. So you may not have that. So that's something to think, keep in mind, guys. Oh, look, I'm not going to talk bad about Mr. Norris, because met the dude. I'm going to tell you, I was pretty impressed. I'm not going to lie. Pretty soft spoken dude, like for real. But then you know what he can do.
Yeah.
And back then it was just after he had broken my best friend's dad's ribs, who I thought was the manliest man on the planet. Okay, and like my best friend's dad was Brian Libby, and he was in a movie called Silent Rage with Chuck Norris back in the, like, way back, old cult movie. Anyhow, my buddy's dad was Brian Libby, and he was the bad guy in that film. And he said Chuck Norris's kicks were so fast, and this was a pretty stout, healthy guy. He's like, I just couldn't see him coming, so I couldn't move, I couldn't block. You just took it and busted his ribs because the man is Chuck Norris. I'm just saying. So I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say, Sue may be able to give him a good run for his money, but I ain't putting money on anybody. That's a fair statement. But they all are now.
Yeah. So anything that's post emissions is going to cost more. But I'll tell you what. So talking to Pittsburgh Power, and they do the more expensive rebuilds. So between 35 and 40 for my truck to get, depending on parts, right? And when they tear into it and what they actually need to replace. But what's a new truck cost, Charlie? 180, 200?
178, sir.
Is that what yours is?
Yeah.
So at 1.4, presumably right now, I'll spend about 50 grand. We'll just say that because by the time I do it, the price will go up.
That's a good number.
And new trucks by then will be closer to 200.
Right.
So for 1/4 of what it would cost to buy a new truck, I get a new truck.
Right.
That's the rationale.
So and then, I mean, let's look worst case, over the next 5 years, Jeff. The in-frame with all the bells and whistles, there's 50 grand. Your tranny, because of these auto shifts being what they are, they're a little more expensive. I don't know what yours is, but I know that some of the newer ones
20.
are. Yeah, I was going to say the newer ones are 25 to 35 from what I've heard different people say. So, okay, there's 75. Let's just say 75. One box, okay.
But I have a warranty on mine, so.
Right, that you're covered there. It costs you what, 2 grand? Yeah. Something like that, 1,800, 2 grand to get that done. And now you have a lifetime warranty. So that's covered. So we're up to 77, let's call it. Let's say your rear ends are gone. You need to replace rear ends. So there's another 4 grand, 5 grand. You're still under 80 grand.
Yep.
Right? And you've got a 1 million mile truck that's paid for.
Yep.
That is brand new and better than when it was brand new.
Yep.
I'm just saying. That's far better money.
So where people get stuck on is sticker shock, I think.
Right.
You read books like The Millionaire Next Door. Charlie and I don't talk about it near enough, I don't think. But we do read, or in Charlie's case, listen to business books.
Yes.
And, we talked about it last week. If you're more of a listener, listen to these books, but listen to them. If you're like me and you're a reader, read them. However you want to consume the media, get into these business books. Millionaire Next Door, there's 2 or 3 of them now. And the thing that keeps on coming up is what real millionaires, people that the rags to riches stories in the United States, which is most millionaires.
Right.
They look at cost of ownership, not cost of purchase. What's this item going to cost me the time that I'm going to use it? And in the case of a money-making asset, am I going to spend $70,000 to get 1 million miles worth of work out of a truck, or am I going to pay 180, 200,000 to get the same million miles out of that truck.
Right.
And this is a concept that honestly, that like even my kitchen appliances, it took me forever to get my wife to on board with this. Really,
right.
Do you go down to Habitat for Humanity and get a dishwasher for $20, or do you spend the $500 for the one that it's going to last 5-6 years?
Right. Or you're replacing it every 3 months at Habitat for Humanity, thrift shop, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's what my landlord does. She's like, she's like, I'm like, the fridge is out. She's like, well, go see what you can find for $200. This is actually kind of a funny story.
If you were my tenant, I'd treat you the same way.
Right. So this is kind of a funny story. I texted her. I'm like, hey, the fridge died and I need to get a new fridge. Right. I'm figuring she's the landlord. So she's going to take care of it. And if she's not, then I'll step up. And she's like, what I saw was go get a new fridge. Right. That's what I saw. So I looked for something comparable size, shape, that sort of thing. Right. And I spent, I don't know, $800, $900, $1,100 on a nice fridge that would last for a while. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sent her a note. I'm like, hey, should I deduct this from the rent? You want me to space it out over a couple months? However you want me to do it. I mean, it's cool. Right. And I told her the price. She's like, I did not authorize that. She's like, I told you spend like $200, see what you could find. I'm like, oh, I missed that. I clearly saw what I wanted to see. But then I'm like, well, that's cool. She's like, I'm like, well, would you like to buy a replacement for the house? Then, I mean, what do you want me to do? She's like, well, just take it with you when you leave. And I'm like, fair enough. We'll do that. So I now have 2 beautiful stainless steel fridges because we actually have 2 fridges in the house because when we bought those, it was too many people in the house. And we're back to all those people again. For a while, it was just like 3 people in the house. And we had these 2 giant fridges, but whatever. But here's the thing. You spend that money on the better product, the better lasting product, and then pay to maintain that versus, going and buying this crap shoot over and over and over that doesn't pay for itself. Chewy at 1.7 million miles, I bought that truck for $42,000 at 490,000 miles. That truck made me stupid amounts of money. I mean, that just stupid amounts of money for what I put into it. So the cost of ownership on that truck was nothing. And I'm gonna take a leap here because there was a conversation on Contractor's Corner on the private Facebook group about the use of max mileage and how people were using it in different ways. And they're like, oh, well, I put it in once a week or I do this. I just can't justify the cost of max mileage. I'm so stuck on that because when I did the math on the cost of max mileage, which I've been using since I got about 29,000 miles out of the first gallon, just short of 30,000 miles out of the first gallon of max mileage. And that was on every single fuel up. Cost me 0.076 cents per mile.
Yeah.
Less than a penny. Less than a penny. And they're like, well, I've got a new truck. I don't need it. I call bullshit. You're using it as a prophylactic. What? Anyhow, you're using it to keep that motor cleaner.
Yep.
The guys with the older motors are using it to clean the motor and then maintain that cleanliness. But if you have a brand new truck, don't think you shouldn't use it. Look, you do what you want to do. I'm out to make this thing last absolutely as long as possible and run as trouble-free as I can. And the way they stand behind the max mileage stuff, and then the treatment that DPF Alternatives does, should I need that? My theory is I shouldn't need that DPF Alternatives cleaning for an extended period, simply based on the fact that I'm starting out with this thing. It's 17,000 miles, 18,000 miles when I start using it or something like that. And I'm now on my second gallon, and I expect to get another 30,000 miles out of that. Hell, I've got 1, 2, 3 gallons sitting over here next to me, just waiting to be used because I'm on the subscription plan, which I should probably pause for a minute. Just, I've got 3 gallons.
I actually ended up going to every 60 days instead of every 30 days.
Yeah, it probably makes sense.
By the way, guys, if you go to pittsburghpower.com and you sign up for the subscription plan on that, it's the price just went up, didn't it? It's a $2.25 now, isn't it?
Right.
$2.25 a gallon is what it'll cost you. If you're on the subscription, there is no shipping and handling. Yeah, all they ask is that you get 2 shipments before you cancel.
Right.
That's all they ask. And if you get it at the Iowa 80, it's $280 at the Iowa 80. So you save yourself quite a bit of money by doing that subscription.
Right. You don't have to hunt for it. It's there at the house when you need it. It's ready to go. Like I said,
oh man, I went around after I got my DPF done. I went around the country, and every TA Petro I went to, I was like, "Hey, do you have max mileage? What's that?
Like what?
Oh, hey, you have max mileage." So the Iowa 80 truck stop chains, those guys are the only ones that have it. If you're out on the road, so
right. Oh, sorry, I haven't been watching chat. Let's see. Jeff, you could always read to Charley and he could listen. I like it. Yes. Couldn't resist. Look, I would listen to Jeff narrate books to me. You say it like it's funny. I'm like, I would totally do it. I just hear him like acting things out. Hey, and then and for me especially, he'd be like, "Hey, idiot, really pay attention here." And I'd be like, "Oh, I better listen to this because he knows me." Oh man. Craig Hutchinson. Yeah, he's gonna back me up here. It should be used from day one if you want to get the best life out of your truck. And that's the way I look at it. I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying. Paul Phillips said he's on his first gallon. The right way to truck says the Petro in Rafine, Virginia has max mileage. And Paul says he got it in Carlisle. So look, I mean, it is out there, but look how much more you're. Can you guys tell me what the cost of the gallon was at those 2 stops?
My initial contact with Bruce, the first thing he asked me was, "Are you using max mileage?"
Right.
Because that dude will sell you a horse when you don't need a horse. That guy. Anyway, but he's always pushing his products, which I wish I was like that. But he believes in them
too. I just want to throw that out there.
Well, I'm making a point. The dude is just a master businessman. And so like, the first thing he asked you is, "Are you using max mileage?" I said, "Yeah." It's like, "Where are you getting?" I said, "Well, usually at the Iowa 80." He's like, "Wow, that's awful expensive, isn't it?"
Right.
And I'm like, well, kind of, yeah. And I didn't know about the subscription thing. He's the one that told me about it. He's like, it's like $40 less if you get it from us.
And no shipping.
So I started doing that, And then he went into the details on what it's doing for my engine. And it's not just the DPF, it's also the EGR, because what it's doing is it's making sure that you're burning your fuel more completely without the soot coming out of it. And what does the EGR do, Charley? Recycle soot back into the engine, which is dirty. So it burns it a little bit more so that California's happy. That's what the EGR does. And so it's not having to cycle all that dirty crap through as much. So it also saves your EGR.
I'm actually thinking about putting it in my tractor out on my property tractor. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, why the hell am I not using it? Especially it's a diesel. And look, I've got problems with this tractor already because I didn't buy a Kubota like I wanted to, and I should have, but whatever. I bought a different brand, and I'm not going to go that route. But anyhow, I figure that it's going to do nothing but help it. I just got to figure out the measurement, and I know I got the measurement somewhere for it.
There's a formula. There's a dose for gasoline cars too.
Right. Hell, Bruce was talking about putting it in his lawnmower. I mean, come on.
Yeah, he puts it in his snowmobiles, in his motorcycle. And I was really looking at that when gasoline prices got up around $5 here in Utah.
Right.
And I just, you think about it, then you forget, and then you're out on the road. But, if it helps at all with, that's something we could talk about. That report I just read.
Right.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know I'd be interested to know what it's doing for your cars, man. Yeah.
One more thing on this real quick before you go to the report. The other thing people were talking about, they're talking about, well, it's such a pain in the butt to figure out how much you're going to use. What? Look, if you're tracking your fuel mileage the way that you should be tracking your fuel mileage, let's just get real here for a minute, guys. If it's too much work to track how much fuel you just burnt between your last fill up and your next fill up, you probably have larger issues than you realize. And maybe you're doing great right now. But I'm telling you that lack of attention over time is going to cost you in ways that you can't even imagine yet. And it's just going to destroy your business down the road. So do yourself a favor, start tracking these numbers. You need to know your numbers to understand your business, to understand the health of your business. And I when I go in to fill up, and by the way, Bruce even said put it in before you fuel so that it gets a better mixture from the gas or diesel going in the tanks.
And I'll testimonialize. Yeah,
Good
that
word.
sounds right. That I was doing it the other way because I was saying, okay, the pump says I put 100 gallons in, so I put my stuff in.
Right.
I did not see the fuel mileage bump until I started doing the dose before I fueled.
Yeah, it mixes better.
It mixes better. And so, I was actually telling guys, and Charley probably remembers when I had to eat a little crow on that.
Absolutely.
I was like, well, I was wrong, guys. You need to. So what I started doing for myself was I just reset my trip meter when I fill up. It's not 100%, but it's close.
Right.
And if anything, I end up putting like a quarter ounce more than I need to in there, but that's better than not putting enough.
Yeah, I tend to slightly overdose it a little bit as well. And I'm telling you right now, even putting in a little more than I should on each fill up, and I'm talking about, a fraction of an ounce extra, 0.0076 cents per mile, guys. I don't see the problem. And my calculation every time before I fill up is within a gallon or two either way. And that amount isn't going to be detrimental in my calculation of what I put in.
Yeah.
It's just not that damn hard. I'm sorry, Jeff. Let's go to that report you were talking about, man. I'm sorry.
So I was just reading a report that Gas Buddy put out earlier today about the future of gasoline prices, which I know that that's not diesel prices, but if you just figure that diesel the last couple of years has been about $1 more than gasoline,
right,
give or take, they're calling for $4 gas nationwide by May, is what their prediction is based on their data. So you guys are watching the fuel prices like we are, and watching the show. We've seen quite a few weeks now, Charley, where diesel's gone down.
Right.
And it's looking like that's gonna turn around here in the next few weeks and start climbing back up. So it's another one of those things where bad for the economy as a whole, sure. Good, great for us. It's great for us.
Right.
The higher that fuel goes, the more profits we make if we're keeping our trucks above that 8 mile per gallon and we're not using the con data card.
Right.
So it's interesting, the DAT stuff that Charley pays attention to. They've been saying something similar that this is a little bit of a reprieve right now, a little bit of relief for the nation, but it's not. Don't expect it to last.
Right. It is gonna. They seem to think it is going to level out.
Right.
But it's going to drop a little more. It's going to come back up and then kind of run. I should run it that way. Then it's going to run kind of flat for a while. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And Paul, how do you measure? You can purchase a little squeeze bottle. It's pretty cool, man. You fill it up with like 12 or 14 ounces, right?
4 ounces, yeah.
Okay. And then you can squeeze it, and it's got a little measuring thing at the top. So you squeeze it from the bottom, it fills it up to the 1 ounce mark. You put 1 ounce per 25 gallons. And that's how you do it, man. So, if you run a route and you're like, okay, I'm going to take 100 gallons of fuel this fill up, 2 ounces in each tank, fill your tanks, get on down the road.
Yep.
Simple. This stuff is terribly corrosive.
Yeah, don't get it on your hands.
Yeah, don't spill it in your truck. The smell is something else if you don't.
Oh man, it'll actually burn the hell out of your lungs.
So I mean, it is what it is. It is a nasty product in an environmental aspect, but it does amazing things for the truck.
Yeah, as long as you don't spill it, you're fine.
Right. And I, look, every ounce I pour in, I wipe off the rim. I pour in an ounce, I wipe off the rim. I keep a rag, and it keeps the smell down. I keep the bottle clean. It's not, because I keep the squeeze bottle in my door, and I keep the gallon in my side box in a big Ziploc bag that they ship with it. The measuring bottle is something extra you will order, but definitely order one. It's worth
It's
a
like
few
what,
pennies.
$10?
Yeah, something like that. And that thing is
And
just a godsend.
I got mine when I got my first bottle at DPF Alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
The guy actually, so here's the service level, by the way, guys, of DPF Alternatives. The guy that did my truck didn't have any of those squeeze bottles in Macon, Georgia. He went up to Atlanta, drove up there
Right.
to get a bottle from another guy to get for me.
Mm-hmm.
So and it seems to be, talking to people, that's not a rare occurrence with these guys.
Right.
I think it might be in the contract. You better be good at customer service when they buy a franchise.
So, Paul, be careful with that. Depending on the whatever your measuring cup is made of, they use a special plastic that's apparently a pain in the ass for them to get a hold of to store this stuff in. That stuff is seriously corrosive. So buy the bottle, man. It's made of the right plastic. Look, it's just easy to measure it out.
Yeah, they
just
were
fill the damn thing up and go.
they were not able to get bottles for the longest time, and so they were
Right.
selling these syringes in like packs.
Yeah,
And on
leaning
the
out the rubber
Pittsburgh
seal on
Power,
them.
in the Pittsburgh Power website, they had disclaimers saying that you were probably only going to get about 10 doses out of each syringe because it
Right.
would just eat the rubber out.
Yeah. It was gnarly. That stuff is something else, man. But for what it does, man, I love it. Seriously, like, and they have them on the Pittsburgh Power site, Paul. Just so you know, I'm not trying to, we don't make anything from the recommendations we make to about Pittsburgh Power, or ES Advantage, or the insurance program we're trying to put together. None of this stuff. We don't make money off this stuff. We talk about these things because we believe the product. We believe in the service. We believe in the people behind these companies. Even if it's an expensive service, if we're talking about it and we're saying, hey, I think you should do this,
check it out at least.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's something that we believe is absolutely worth every penny.
I don't know if you know this part of the story of DPF Alternatives. Pittsburgh Power was trying to come up with their own cleaning thing. And when I was talking to Bruce before he came on the
Dorothy
show,
machine or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. They ended up just buying a franchise from DPF Alternatives. That's what they do in their shop now.
Right.
They just bought their machines because they couldn't do any better.
Right.
With their own stuff. So
yeah, I mean, that just tells you something. What was this? Trucker Dan, Charley said your Freightliner total price 178, my Volvo price 174. Yeah, look, they are what they are, man. I actually hit mine right at the peak of the kind of market there. Well, not the peak, but it was not a good spot in the market. It was in July, and on top of that, it's a company spec truck. So I didn't even get like the fancy stuff that a lot of you guys might get now on a brand new 23, because they are starting to get some 23s that are owner spec and that sort of thing, I think. But look, man, this thing is like a Cadillac to me. So coming out of Chewy into this thing, I
see that
nothing but luxury.
That was the other thing I read recently, was they're anticipating another backlog in new trucks probably about July. So we might end up with another
great
thing there.
The insurance thing, James Vaughn asked, how's the insurance thing going? Well, we're right around 70 people. We still need another 130 guys. So if you haven't already and you're out there and you're listening, and maybe you don't even know what the hell we're talking about on the insurance thing, what we're doing is we're working with a company and a fine dude who is trying to build a risk analysis of Swift contractors so that they can put together a package that will replace these Swift insurance that's offered to us through the owner-operator division. He believes that if we get enough people in this and we can get the risk picture built, that he can beat the Swift prices on insurance. Right. But what we need is all of you to send in your driver's license number, your full name, your state of issue, and your date of birth, and email that to insurance@contractorscorner.network. That's .network. The whole word .network or period network, NETWORK. And send that email to us so that we can put you on the list, because when we get to that 200, if we get to that 200, when we get to that 200, we're going to get this package put together, because pretty much short of that, we're going to come up with higher rates. So we need a bigger pool of people. Even if you decide that you don't want to take that insurance, help us get this rate.
Yeah.
The rate is not dependent on all of us signing up. The rate is dependent on what that risk picture is for the us as a whole.
Right.
Even if you're looking at other options, that's fine. Why not help figure out, maybe you get a better deal this way for a better insurance coverage, for a better product, better customer service, and it creates more separation between us and our customer, Swift, and creates separation between IEL and the contractor. It's a win-win all the way around, especially if we can get it at a better price for more coverage and better service.
Yeah, even I talked with Brett a couple weeks ago, and he even said with the new word from Chubb, the 6% increase thing.
Right.
He's not sure that Swift's going to be the cheapest option anymore. A lot of us just stuck with it because Charlie and I both did at one time go out try to find our own insurance.
Oh, absolutely. We could not beat the price.
We couldn't find a better price. But the way things are changing, you have to realize that what we're doing, if we're taking Swift's insurance, cameras aside and all that, just pure business, is we're piggybacking on whatever discount they're getting for their $17,000 truck fleet. Right. That's what we're doing. We're benefiting from their negotiating power. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get our own negotiating power, but we need a group in order to do that.
Right.
It's just like the fuel card itself. Why are we able to get the same discounts that Swift gets basically at truck stops? Well, because there's 15,000 independent and lease operators and all of us that signed up for this card, so that when ES Advantage goes and negotiates their contracts, they've got 15,000 drivers behind them.
Right.
It's the same thing. If we could get enough drivers, Swift contractors, and get a good risk profile, we might be able to beat Papa Swift.
Right.
So.
Let's see.
Yep. And that's Dennis, exactly.
I'm gonna
go ahead, Dennis. I forgot to send my info. Well, Dennis, you work too hard, Dennis. Man. you work too hard, man. You gotta take a break. And it's exactly. So we're getting that increase. They say no more than 6%, but Charlie, when was the last time they said 6%? It wasn't exactly 6%.
Right. Yeah. They're like, it won't be more than 6%. I'm pretty much betting on 6%, maybe 5.5% to be like, look, it's not 6%,
Right.
Hey, Sue, for you, Angel's Envy, just saying, have a little. Getting right with the world, y'all. Trucker Dan said it was supposed to be a company million mile truck that ended up on the owner's side. He didn't know how. That's actually happened quite a few times. Look, man, just be happy you got it, because that's pretty much the million mile trucks were pretty much the same specs as the owner trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And with kind of the custom color bases and that sort of thing. Hey, run it, man. Be happy. Exactly like you said. Guess you just lucked out. Good for you, man. I hope it does well. Let us know how the numbers are doing on that thing. It's been kind of hit and miss from some of the ones we've seen so far. Oh yeah, Sue, very nice. She said. Yeah, it was a Christmas present. I'm not gonna lie. Angel's Envy. God, I love this stuff. The rye. It's aged in rum barrels afterwards. Oh my, it's good stuff. Definitely a good sipping whiskey. Just saying. My daughter's like, I was out there fixing a drink before the show started, right? And I'm like, hey, babe, I was talking to Rosie. I'm like, you want a drink? She's like, heck yeah. And my daughter's like, yeah, what do you got to mix it with? I'm like, the hell did you just say? You can have some rum here. And that's what she got. So, yeah. I'm like mixing Angel's Envy. What the hell?
There's
Are
a
you sure
reason
you're my
why.
child?
There's a reason why I have steak and my younger kids have hot dogs, man. I'm just
Right?
saying.
They don't
They
appreciate
can't
it.
appreciate I'm not spending the money.
I the last time she drank this stuff though, she did one of these. She's like, "Oh, that's good." I'm like, "Oh, child, you are not appreciating that. I mean, you're trying, but good Lord." Oh man. 7 kilo. Hey man, good to see you. Glad you're here. Nice to see you. Not gonna throw it that. What the hell? I'll throw it up there. I don't even care. What the hell do I care? Good to see you, buddy. Glad you're here. Clearly, you're one of those wonderful folks from that other group. And you know what? We appreciate you guys. I know that may have sounded weird the way I said that, but I actually dig you guys. You guys have been all right by me. So yeah, to hell with the world and let's be happy. Whoop whoop. Yeah, okay. So I may be getting a little deep in the Angel's Envy.
All right, he's done now. Now the
We're
fun really
done.
starts.
Now let's get this party started. Oh wait, my bad. But yeah, so you guys besides the general maintenance costs, have any of you had any kind of big oh my god moments this year that you haven't shared, or oh my god in the bad, or oh my god in the good? I'm curious to know, what's gone well for you this year, what's not gone so great. I shared what has not been great for me this year. Jeff's doing pretty damn good this year. Jason Caps, buddy, we just talked about the Samsara cameras a little while ago that you and I talked about before, and a few of the others. So I wanted you to know that I brought up your topics, buddy. I appreciate you for the call just for the show.
Yeah, I mean, for me, one of the challenges of the year was restructuring into an S corp, and
Right.
just I started it paying myself a really low thing that didn't work out. And the thing with the S corp guys is there's what the civilians, I guess, the politicians will call tax loopholes, right?
Right.
Where you have to pay
Loopholes in my
yourself
ass.
where you have to pay yourself a reasonable wage, which for a truck driver is about probably 50,000.
Yeah,
I
it's
would say.
depending on who you talk to,
You
it's
know,
like between 40 and 60. That's
yeah, which
considered reasonable.
yeah,
And that could vary between IRS agent to IRS agent.
yeah. So what I decided was I'm just gonna pay myself what my wife says she needs. And so
Right.
I ended up, I don't know if I told you, Charlie, I settled down at 68 cents a mile is what I pay in payroll. And so that equates to right just under 60 grand a year. And it's enough to pay the bills. And I've got money left over in the business that I can either use for, things like my remodel, maintenance.
Right.
And if stuff's left over, I can dole it out in profit sharing, which I don't pay FICA tax on.
Right.
And that's the key with that. But you got to be, we've gone over this before. You got to be making at least 60 grand a year to make it even worthwhile.
Right.
Because there's extra accounting fees. You got to file 2 sets of taxes. You got to do this.
75.
You got to do that. Yeah. Well, that's what some companies will tell you.
Right.
I'm trying not to mention them anymore because I'm
That's
upset
okay.
with them.
That's fair.
But next year's challenge for me is going to be I'm going to try and do my own stuff. I'm signing up for Rutherford's profit gauges.
Right.
And I'm gonna run that side by side with ATBS next year. So it's gonna cost me a little money because I'm gonna run them side by side and see how it goes. And at the end of the year, I'm gonna actually try and do my own taxes.
Oof.
And we'll see how that goes. And I'll have ATBS doing them as well. I'm just gonna compare the two experiences.
Right.
And if I can't do it, I'll go find a local accountant and see what they would charge to do it. Because here's the thing, guys. Once you go S corp, ATBS wants twice as much per week.
It's a lot.
And I'm saying at this point, I'm not seeing the value there as an S corp. As a sole
because
proprietor,
they offer
it was
consulting.
Fine. Right. They're not consulting me for crap. So I get more advice from Charley than them all day long.
Poor guy.
So yeah. So it's looking like my recommendation for accounting services is going to change over the next year. I'm not willing to commit to anything until I have actual experience.
Right.
I know a lot of you guys are saying, "Well, it's about time, Jeff. I told you 2 years ago."
Right.
But hey,
Yeah.
we got to do our own thing. But but throughout the next year, you'll see me be able to actually talk with some authority on, hey, is ATBS really providing the value they say? Right now, I'm thinking not, because I don't know about you guys that use them in RS Corps. When was the last time you called your business consultant that they actually answered the phone?
Right.
Because especially my first year, I had some questions, man. And you know who I got the answers from? That guy. And they're probably going to get me in trouble, but I got answers. So, because there's just other things you got to do when you restructure. So, you falling asleep on me, Charlie?
No, man, I was texting. I apologize. Sue
Oh,
texted me. Look, Sue gave me a cooler of beer a couple weeks ago, and I haven't brought her cooler back because I'm a terrible person. I just haven't had time. But apparently, she's coming out to Crystal River tomorrow. So, Sue, I was answering you. That would be awesome. Hit me up. I'll come find you, or you can come over here, whatever you want to do. You can just come see my train wreck of an office. James
so
Bond, I agree, brother.
I'm going to challenge you, James, though, because every time someone tells me that, I say, why?
Right.
And nobody can tell me why. What is it about them that you hate so much? I could tell you what I don't like about them. I just told you. But what you need to be able to quantify that as a business person. If you're if you're going to cut off a relationship with a company, a service, a customer, you got to have a solid reason. You know, for 14 years, ATBS literally kept me from paying taxes. I have not paid taxes my entire time as an owner operator, except for 2 years where I just did an insane amount of revenue, and my deductions didn't get me down below the poverty line.
Right.
So you tell me why ATBS is junk based on my experience. What's the deal? You know,
Right.
they do a good job for sole proprietors. That's what I'm saying right now. That's my current level of experience. That's my experience. Hard to get them on the phone. You know, they're supposed to be offering consulting services, and yeah, that's my beef.
And Matt has a different experience.
You have the
And
one, huh?
yeah, you have the one, bro. So, run it. I mean, if it's working for you, by all means, look, we're just gonna look into some other options, like Jeff said, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking about making a switch myself here this year. I got some changes that I would like to make for myself this year, because now that I have a truck payment, I need to start looking at some of these things a little bit more analytically than I have in the past, because I got a little slack while I was running Chewy, and it paid for truck and all that thing. I mean, it changes your view, and whether it's right or wrong, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So yeah, if you guys got any questions you want to throw up, by all means, please throw them up. But I am still curious, what has gone great for you this year? What's gone right? What have you done that you saw positive feedback from?
Yeah, I can tell you.
I'm not sure what you're saying there, but it
I'm going to
sounds
tell you about
positive to me.
costs. Yeah.
I'll throw it up. I don't care. Yeah. See, Matt, it wasn't that way at first, but after raising enough stink, they assigned me a new agent to me. The former is no longer there. Yeah. And that's been my experience. I've gone through so many people running my account. I don't even know who the hell my person is right now.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Robbie said, "Same here. I get all my answers here. I have only talked to my consultant a couple times. In fact, my consultant changed, and no one even called me. I just happened to see the name change.
Yeah.
And that's like a thing.
And the thing is, too, Charlie, at $160 a month, that's what the premium service costs.
Right.
You know, that for that amount of money, I want some service, man.
Right.
You know, our premium service that we're planning on launching next year is $40 a month.
Right.
And I guarantee you we'll answer the dang phone.
Right.
You know,
Greg said he's looking back into Larson's in Omaha, Nebraska. Used them when he was there at Werner and Jones. So, you know, I mean, look, there are people out there that know their stuff.
Yeah, the only thing I would
find these people.
Yeah, we need like if you're in a specific state, you know, because this is going to be different state to state, and that's going to be the challenge here. I need to find someone here locally, which in Utah should be pretty easy because trucking is a big thing here. That understands the owner operator model and what all of our deductions truly are.
I'd like someone that I can actually go in and sit down with every now and then,
right,
face to face, and have a discussion.
Yeah, and you know, Rutherford used to tell us on the radio, you know, if you're looking for an accountant, the first thing you ask them is, what's the per diem deduction this year for owner operators?
Right.
And if they don't know that, answer that question off the top of their head, go somewhere else. Because that's the one thing, you know, they'll try to, well, it depends on your receipts at this, that. No, it doesn't. For owner operator truck drivers, it's a set amount per day you're out on the road. That's what it is. And if they don't know that, then they don't know trucking. And so that'll when I interview accountants locally, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to ask them, hey, can you tell me what the per diem deduction is this year? And if they don't know, I'll go to the next guy on my list. Because if they know that, they probably know trucking. Because it's a pretty obscure deduction.
Right. So yeah, even Sean's talking about, you know, his guy won't answer the phone. So I mean, these things are what they are. You know, and you do what you can do, and we're looking for alternatives. You know, we're trying to find other means that will benefit us more, right? And be more cost effective. And look, I'm actually willing to pay a premium for the level of service that I would expect from someone doing these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Sean, on the S Corp stuff, I think you've got my phone number. Just give me a call sometime this week.
Yeah,
and we can go over where you're at, and because I'm off until the 5th, so just if you hear routers and stuff going in the background, I'm working on my truck. Just
right. Making it pretty. Hey, give me just 1 second, guys. I'll be right back, Jeff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, James Vaughn. I think that that's something that I obviously have absolutely no experience with at all. But living on a border town, I would think that you would be able to find somebody. You know, there's got to be more than just you doing what you do, right? But I think that's a different set of interview questions, absolutely, because you have business interests in both countries. You're going to have to do some international things. Yeah, and in 03, I'm firing ATBS. Yeah, I imagine a lot of guys will be. I think it's too, like when I first started, 15 some odd years ago with this, ATBS was, Rutherford actually worked with them hand in hand, and his show was actually sponsored by them.
Right.
And so they were in line with everything he was teaching on the radio.
He was a partner with them. He helped start that.
Yeah, he helped start that whole company. And as their relationship went in different, as they parted ways, things definitely changed at ATBS. When Rutherford was involved with it, I think it was a lot better company.
That's a fair question there, Sean. I know they have some services available, and I'm actually going to reach out to them and see what they have available. That's definitely something that we should be looking into. I would prefer, like, my ideal situation would be someone here, like I said, that I can go in, sit down with on maybe a monthly basis or a quarterly basis, and sit down across a desk face to face and go over these hard numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to look for someone local in Florida first, and then maybe I'm going to look at Expeditors and a few other places, I'm sure, just to figure out what's going on out there,
Yeah, we kind of tentatively asked Reese about that a while back, and we, unfortunately,
Right.
we dropped the ball on it. That's
Yeah,
what we
we
did.
didn't follow through on that one. My bad.
So.
He's lagging in the valley in Vegas. Sorry if he's behind the top. You're good, man. You're good.
Dude,
Sometimes
I've been
it's funny.
hacking for a month.
Yeah, it's not pleasant. I've had this thing in my chest for a while. It's killing me.
That's a really good price, dude. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. Like, even so, part of my story with ATBS, so my mother was an accountant by trade. And when I told her what I was paying for ATBS, and that included my tax filings for the year for a business, she told me she would have charged me 3 times that much. My own mom. So, so that's that $500. That's pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's see what else we got here. But yeah, if you guys got any questions, by all means, throw them up. Like I said, we are talking about what's gone well, what's gone bad, and looking ahead to next year. We're talking about maybe swapping out to different accounting people to get a better service, a better price, maybe. But definitely, I'm looking for service.
And some of that services we plan on doing ourselves.
Greg said he'll share in the group what he gets from Larson's on pricing and services. That's
Sweet.
awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we need anything you guys have. Yeah, my profit and loss statement, by the way, has been screwed up ever since I went S corp.
Right.
That's part of my problem. So.
Yeah, there's a weird reporting thing between Swift and ATBS. Once you go S corp for some strange reason. I've never understood it. Don't understand what the hell's going on. I don't know what the problem is. Yeah. Whatever.
Well, and I looked at doing QuickBooks, but so QuickBooks for one thing costs more than Profit Gauges by quite a bit. And Profit Gauges is completely for truckers, built by a trucker.
Right.
So a lot of these weird categories that QuickBooks wants you to have in your system that have nothing to do with our operation aren't in Profit Gauges. It's just all trucking stuff. Like, especially for us, Charlie, for us, we don't have invoices.
Right.
I don't need to do invoicing. I don't need to do accounts receivable.
Right.
I need to be able to have a profit and loss statement, and I need to be able to do payroll. And, I use a pretty cheap payroll service. It's a subsidiary of paychecks.com. It only costs me $35 a month for a single employee. And they do all my withholdings for me and my quarterlies. Right. It's all just automatic. It was a little bit because it's a cheaper service though, Charlie. It was a bit of a pain to get set up.
Right.
Because what you remember the first time I had problems with ATBS is they didn't tell me everything I needed to have, even though I paid them to help me set up my S corp. And so my payroll company actually said, "Oh, you need to go to this website, and this website, and get these accounts set up for Utah,
right?
Or you're going to jail." Oh, okay,
right.
Well, thank you. Let's get that done then. So I actually got more help from my discount payroll company than I did from them.
Yeah, that's and
I don't
sad
mean to be
and
sour.
funny all at the same time.
I don't need to be mean to be sour grapes, guys, but just I want you all to know that my opinion on ATBS is changing, and it's mostly surrounding restructuring you into the S corp. I still think that they could save you money on taxes as a sole proprietor,
right?
If you're at that level. But if you got your paid for truck, you're making over 75 a year, you want to save some money on payroll taxes, on the FICA side.
You're running a hard team.
You're like me, you're a solo, but don't have a truck payment anymore. So you just gave yourself a $34,000 a year raise. Right. So you're way above that 75 now. And you just want to save some money on the tax side. They did not help me that much. And so, yeah, I've got some sour grapes, I guess.
Right. Hey, it's fair. I mean, it is what it is. Excuse me. But yeah, so if you guys don't have any other questions, we're going to throw you up last call here. If you want to throw up some questions, we will get to them. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this year up. This is the last show of the year, y'all. Next week, we're going to be coming back with Brett Stewart. I believe we should have on the show the 3rd of January. He had expressed that he would like to be on the show that week, and we would like to have him and talk about what's coming up for the year. So by all means, get up any questions you have, and we will. Yeah.
I haven't been in the
Madness and crap. Got to run, guys. Water heater blew up. Line. Woo! Yay!
All right.
Good luck.
Those are fun times, man.
Right?
Could you imagine that big man getting under his house to do anything?
No. He is a giant, y'all. I've never seen him. He is a giant. Like, I want to see him crawling around behind his water heater and stuff. That would just be great to watch.
Yeah. So I was going to say something, but I can't remember what it was. So
I'm sorry, man. That one caught me. Yeah, and Craig said he's had the same experience with him since he's gone S-Corp. So, it is what it is. And Sue said, Happy New Year, everyone. Stay safe, and thank you all for what you do. And yeah, seriously, thank you all for what you do. And thank you for coming and spending your time with us every week, because it does mean a great deal to us. And Rosie brought me another drink. I'm just going to throw it out there. Yep. So we're going to wrap this thing here pretty quick. That. Because when I get into this one, I'm not going to be able to talk.
So since Sue is watching, and we can put some things out there for a second here.
Yes.
So Charlie and I have decided to officially work with the Ocala terminal with Sue and Gary.
Whether they like it or not.
Whether they like it or not, we're helping them. Gary, the terminal manager there, has indicated that he wants to grow his owner-operator fleet. And
which is more than I can say for some other terminals.
Yep. It's there. That terminal there is probably the most positive single terminal that we've visited.
Seriously.
I mean, they everything down to you walk in and people are like, I don't know, like happy or some crap. I don't know what the deal with that is.
Like you can walk in the office and talk to people, unlike some terminals. I mean, I can do that at Troutdale, but you can literally walk in the back. If you got a badge, tap the thing, walk in, talk to who you need to talk to.
Yeah. So we're going to be working with them to help them build their fleet and doing some consulting over there. And, the thing is, the better we do for Swift, the better Swift does for us.
Right.
And if we can grow the operation there, what the long-term plan really is, Charlie, is if we can do that there, then we can go to Swift and say, okay, which terminal is next?
Right.
And so if we can do this, and it's going to take all of us, not just Charlie and I, but owner operators out there that are contracted to Swift, start building those relationships at the terminals. Some of these terminals barely know they have owner operators, for crying out loud, from what I've seen.
Right.
You walk in there, hey, I walked into one terminal a month ago and said, hey, can I talk to your OOC? What's that? And that was the terminal manager. What's an OOC? Okay. That's interesting.
I'll say it. West Valley. Sorry. I apologize.
I have to live here, man.
I know. I'm sorry.
But we want to change that relationship, and these people need to know who we are and what kind of revenue we bring to their terminal. And
I want to jump on this comment real quick.
Great opportunity.
How do I fire my OOC? OOC. Number one, you don't fire them because they don't work for you. You don't work for them. You guys work together. So let's just get rid of that firing thing right there. If you're not working well with the person that is assigned to work with you, then you need to have an adult conversation with them and figure out maybe you can fix it. If you can't fix it, then there are alternatives out there, and you can talk to your leadership and move through and talk to other people if that's what you need to do. And if you do go to someone else, I recommend you seriously sit down and interview that person or several OOCs and let them interview you and make sure that you guys are going to work together well.
Yep. Yeah, that's the key. Interview these people. Charlie and I lucked out. We got a pretty awesome lady from the time we hit the ground at Swift. And she's been with me since the time I graduated from the academy,
Right.
all the way through becoming an owner operator. And she's just one of those people. She will make you seriously think about your business. Like if you want to change something, she will make you feel like you're an idiot sometimes. But once you make a decision for your business, guess what happens? She is 100% behind you.
Right. She's got opinions. Don't think she doesn't. I mean, there's more than one time I've heard her say, "You're crazy as hell."
Well, even when I leased my first truck, she tried so hard to talk me out of it. But as soon as I signed that lease, the next conversation I had with her was, "Oh, congratulations."
Right. What can we do? Let's make some things happen.
What do we need to do? Let me show you how what's different, you know?
Right.
So.
All right, guys, I think we're going to call this a wrap. Jeff, you got anything else you want to throw out there? Anything else you want to touch on?
No. Stay safe. There's still some storms going on out here.
Yeah,
I know my area's starting to get hit again tomorrow. It's supposed to be all
the holiday this coming weekend, Sunday. So be careful there.
Yeah, if you're out driving on Saturday night, be careful.
I will be. Jeff won't be. He'll be working on tearing apart and rebuilding his truck still. We're going back to work on Friday just for the weekend to get out there and do some stuff. We're going to be running Target all of January, it looks like. I got a bunch of doctor appointments next month, like week after week, like 3 weeks straight. It's crazy. But so I'm going to be staying closer to home so I can do those. If you guys are out working, I'll be out there with you this weekend. If you're not, stay safe, do good things, make good choices. Like I tell my kids, make good choices, you know? Yeah, seriously, this year's been pretty cool for us. We've had a lot of ups and downs. The membership has gone up and down. We've stayed pretty even around the 240-ish mark, I think. Again, if you haven't submitted info for the insurance quote, do that for us. Do us a favor. Get that done. Excuse me. Look, I think next year is going to be an interesting year. So, keep positive. Keep working on your numbers.
It doesn't look like it's going to be any worse than last year.
No. Well,
so if you've survived this long,
right, it'll be a little lighter freight volume wise because we're finally going back down to 2019 type numbers, that sort of thing. But you got to remember that 20 and 21 were batshit years. I mean, they're historically unprecedented, stupid high. So keep those in mind. Fuel prices are going to keep us going pretty good for a while, I believe. So yeah, you guys, we will see you next year. Oh my God, 2023! Can't believe another one's gone by. I
learned to write another number on my stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to screw that up for at least a week.
22 maybe for a couple weeks.
6 months, right? All right, guys. You guys be safe. Take care of each other. No one's out here looking after us but us. And Sue Smith, of course, we love her. She's looking after us. You guys, thank you once again for spending your time with us and taking time out of your day. We will be live again next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Jeff, that's the dude. Damn it. I still can't do that. That's the dude. Look, you got that on lock. That's not even right. You guys, stay safe, be careful, stay profitable, and we'll see you next year.